Houston Rockets vs Utah Jazz full game highlights, October 8, 2025 NBA Preseason. The Houston Rockets and Utah Jazz squared off on October 8, 2025, in a preseason matchup that felt anything but meaningless. Both teams came into the game with something to prove, the Rockets looking to showcase their new superstar duo and chemistry, while the Jazz hoped to test their young core and evaluate how their revamped lineup stacked up against one of the most talked-about teams in the league. The result: a fast-paced, high-energy clash full of highlight plays, breakout performances, and plenty of early-season drama. From the opening tip, it was clear the Rockets meant business. Kevin Durant, making his second appearance in a Houston uniform, wasted no time setting the tone. On the first possession, he drained a smooth mid-range jumper, followed by a step-back three that brought the crowd to its feet. The 36-year-old superstar looked as efficient as ever, controlling the tempo and providing the kind of calm veteran leadership that Houston has long been missing. Alongside him, Jalen Green attacked aggressively, slashing to the rim and finishing through contact, while Alperen Sengun orchestrated from the high post with his trademark passing and crafty footwork. The Jazz, however, weren't going to let Houston run away with it. Lauri Markkanen, Utah's all-star forward, immediately answered with a barrage of three-pointers and tough drives. His improved handle and confidence were on full display as he battled Durant on both ends. Rookie Keontae George added energy off the dribble, while Jordan Clarkson's shot-making kept the Jazz offense humming. Utah's ball movement was crisp early, and they exploited Houston's switching defense with timely cuts and kickouts. Midway through the first quarter, the Rockets started finding their rhythm. Fred VanVleet, running the offense with poise, dished out several assists to set up easy looks for Sengun and Jabari Smith Jr. Smith, entering his third year with rising confidence, knocked down a pair of deep threes and threw down a thunderous dunk on a fast break after a steal. His defensive presence was also notable, contesting shots, rotating quickly, and showing maturity beyond his years. By the end of the first quarter, Houston led 31-27, thanks to their hot shooting and balanced attack. Durant led all scorers with 10 points, while Markkanen paced the Jazz with 9. The crowd at Toyota Center was buzzing, excited by the chemistry building between Houston's new and returning stars. In the second quarter, Houston's bench made a major statement. Rookie Reed Shepherd entered the game and immediately made his presence felt with his energy and shooting. He nailed back-to-back triples, then found Tari Eason on a fast break alley-oop that brought the fans to their feet. Cam Whitmore, another young standout, used his athleticism to attack the rim and draw fouls. The Rockets' second unit looked dynamic, fast, aggressive, and confident, a sign that head coach Ime Udoka's system is clicking early. Utah tried to counter with their own reserves, as Colin Sexton and Walker Kessler brought hustle and toughness. Sexton's relentless drives and defensive intensity kept the Jazz within striking distance, while Kessler battled Sengun inside, blocking a couple of shots and grabbing key rebounds. Still, Houston's firepower was too much to contain. With Durant back on the floor midway through the second, the Rockets extended their lead to double digits. KD hit 2 more jumpers, Green nailed a pull-up 3, and suddenly the Rockets were up 56-43. Before halftime, the Jazz responded with a late surge. Clarkson and Markkanen combined for a 9-0 run, capitalizing on a few defensive lapses by Houston. But Durant steadied the ship once again, finding VanVleet for a transition 3 and drawing a foul on the next possession. The Rockets went into halftime leading 61-54, with Durant already up to 16 points, while Markkanen led Utah with 14. The third quarter brought the intensity of a regular season matchup. Houston came out firing. Jalen Green exploded with 11 points in the period, including a powerful baseline dunk over Kessler that sent shockwaves through the arena. Green's speed and athleticism were overwhelming, and his decision-making looked sharper than ever. On the defensive end, VanVleet and Eason hounded the Jazz guards, forcing turnovers and converting them into easy fast break points. Utah, though, continued to show fight. Markkanen remained their anchor, stretching the floor and hitting timely shots. Clarkson found his rhythm again with a pair of deep threes, while Kessler provided second-chance points with his rebounding. However, the Rockets' offensive rhythm was simply too smooth. Durant's gravity opened up driving lanes for everyone else, and Sengun's passing wizardry kept Utah's defense guessing. Late in the third, Sengun executed a gorgeous give-and-go with Green that ended in a no-look bounce pass for a dunk. By the end of the third quarter, Houston held a 92-79 advantage. The crowd roared in approval as the new-look Rockets showcased their offensive versatility and defensive grit. In the fourth quarter, both teams started rotating in their younger players, but the intensity didn't drop. Utah's rookies, Cody Williams and Bryce Sensabaugh, brought spark and effort, knocking down shots and pushing the pace. For Houston, Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson stole the show in the final minutes. Thompson's playmaking and defensive instincts were outstanding. He controlled the tempo like a veteran, dishing out assists and even throwing down a thunderous fast-break dunk after a steal. Whitmore, meanwhile, showed off his scoring versatility, hitting a three, finishing in transition, and showcasing why Houston's future looked so bright. Durant and Green sat for most of the fourth, but their earlier work had already sealed the deal. Houston's second unit maintained control, moving the ball beautifully and executing Udoka's defensive schemes with discipline. Even as Utah tried to mount one final push behind Clarkson and Sexton, Houston's defensive rotations and rebounding shut the door. When the final buzzer sounded, the Rockets walked away with a convincing 114-102 win. Durant finished with 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists in just 25 minutes of play. Jalen Green added 21 points, while Sengun contributed 14 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists in another well-rounded performance. Van Vliet chipped in 10 points and 8 assists, and Jabari Smith Jr. posted 13 points and 7 boards, showing steady growth on both ends. Off the bench, Cam Whitmore and Tari Eason combined for 18 points, while rookie Reed Shepherd finished with 9. For the Jazz, Markkanen led the way with 23 points and 6 rebounds, Clarkson followed with 18, and Sexton added 15 off the bench. Walker Kessler had 8 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks, showing his usual defensive presence in the paint. While it's only preseason, this game gave both fanbases plenty to be excited about. For Houston, it was proof that the new-look roster featuring Kevin Durant, Jalen Green, and Fred VanVleet can coexist beautifully, a mix of youth, star power, and depth that looks ready to compete with anyone. Udoka's influence is evident in their discipline, effort, and improved defensive communication.